Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another Rin Reviews. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the new Marvel show, Wonder Man. Now, personally, going into this show, I don't really have a lot of background on Wonder Man. I've seen some of the animation things that he's been in, and I've heard of him before, but never actively read any of the comics or anything like that. But even still, I was so excited for this show, even back when they announced it originally. And I have to say, this show is absolutely incredible. I would go to say that this is the best MCU show that we've gotten ever. The only one that might top it is X-Men 97, but even then, that's technically not in the MCU, so I don't really count it. But yeah, no, everything about this show was just so incredibly well done. Every single episode was absolutely amazing. The whole show started off so strong with episode 1, leaving us off with that kind of cliffhanger thing at the end, which would have been even better if they had decided to release this on a weekly schedule instead of all at once. And then episode 2 and 3 did amazing jobs as well, growing our relationship and understanding of the character of Simon Williams and even further of Trevor Slattery. And then episode 4, the way they did that entire episode was so cool, and I absolutely loved it. And then again, just the continuance of the story from episodes 5, 6, 7, and then that finale with episode 8 were just all so very well done. And again, as I said, one of the biggest standouts for me was the acting performances, especially from Yahya as Simon Williams as Wonder Man. He was so incredible. Genuinely, I think one of the best performances in the MCU up to this point. And also, Sir Ben Kingsley did an amazing job playing Trevor Slattery again. The buddy cop dynamic between the two of them and Trevor's comedic silliness mixed with Simon's seriousness and stoicness just made for a really good pairing. I also think just the whole storyline of the show was just so incredibly well written and was just so intriguing and interesting the entire time. And then also just the cinematography, the set designs, the costume designs, everything just looked so amazing in this as well. And I love the music choices they had. The score was amazing. And then also just the other songs that they added in all fit the scenes that they were added into very well. I also personally just enjoyed the more depth that we got out of this show versus other Marvel projects where we don't really get much character depth or anything, which I think is something that Marvel has been doing a good job of very recently. I also just love the fact that this story was just so grounded and was Simon Williams and Trevor Slattery's story, not the bigger MCU as a whole kind of story, but it's still interconnected with everything, which I think is the exact right way for them to do these shows. Another big thing for me was that I saw a bunch of people who got to see the show early at premieres and things like that say the show as a whole is just a giant love letter to people who love movies and TV shows and just film and stuff in general and everything that goes into it. And I have to say, I couldn't agree more. This is exactly how that felt for me as someone who loves all the behind the scenes and all the little bits of everything to do with film and stuff. Obviously, I don't see it through the same lens as Simon Williams, who's an actor and wants to be an actor and all this stuff. I see it through a different lens, but I still understand his process and all of his obstacles that he ends up going through. So yeah, obviously, if you're a Marvel fan, definitely go watch this show. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, I would still definitely go watch this because there's honestly nothing that you need to know previously, which I think is really great for them to do with these shows. And if you just love film and stuff, definitely watch this show. But yeah, on that note, I will see you guys in the next video.